All right, here we are doing the late night hustle and flow. I'm here with Rhea Carmen, director of The Fifth Woman, producer of The Fifth Woman, founder of The Fifth Woman, and we have started a Kickstarter.
Yay! We did it.
We did it. It was
talked about it for a while, and we finally got it going.
While, and then finally we were submitting it last night for approval. Thought it was going to take 3 days, and it turned out it started last night. So
we didn't know. So like, oh wait, it's going live. It's going live right now. Oh,
so the Kickstarter's live, guys. 28 days to go. Hurrah! All or nothing. Rhea, I wanted to ask you some questions about the Fifth Woman to give our viewers some background and history and context for why we need $4,500, which is a whole 4 months of house payment for some people. Sometimes it's a whole house payment for a month for some people.
That's a big house.
That's a big house.
Yeah, it's not a house payment for me. No. Okay.
Me either. Mine is like a fraction of that.
Yeah, just a fraction.
It's rent. So
we're raising the money because we want to be able to impact more women, more young ladies, and so we really want to go into the 501c3 nonprofit status.
yes.
That takes funds because we have to pay for legal fees and paperwork and all of that good stuff. So that's the bulk of the finances go towards getting the Fifth Woman to a place that we'll be able to then move forward with our plans to go into group homes and start programs with young ladies, impact more women, put out more content telling women's stories on a regular basis.
Wait, so let's back up. Let's back up a whole lot because some people have no clue. I have people ask me all the time this question, by the way. What is the Fifth Woman and why that name? So what inspired you to make the Fifth Woman for those who don't want to read the bio?
Some lazy people out there.
Or people who just don't
like to read.
Lazy.
But you want to watch poetry.
Love it. We love y'all. So what inspired you to create the Fifth Woman? Like, where did it come from?
Okay, so I have been a fan of Nina Simone for as long as I can remember. And one of my favorite songs by her was For Women. And I always sang it. And I was just kind of sitting around one day and I said, for me, these women all occurred back in 1964. But where's the voice of the woman of today? And so that song is entitled For Women, and so I felt like poetry would give the woman of today a voice, and so she would be the fifth woman, and we call her poetry.
Her name is poetry. So there it is, folks. That's where we come from. Now, why poetry? Like, where? It could have been theater, it could have been song, it could have been visual arts, it could have been framing, because you apparently have a small history in hustling on the frames.
I will hustle. When I started doing research, spoken word is just something that I love, and it's something that really healed me. It's something that really changed me, helped me find myself, helped me to love my own story, love everything about myself, to write it out and then to share it out.
Yeah.
And so I knew that there had to be some, foundation for why it was so inspirational for me. So I did some research and I started to find out like 1 in every 8 women, suffers from depression, and that there's, actually therapies out there called poetry therapy, where women are encouraged to write poetry to come out of depression, to come out of all of those things. And so that's why poetry heals. That's what it does. Growing up, I suffered a lot at the hand of illnesses, constantly battling different illnesses, which led to me just being a very awkward and weird person anyways. Because I've always been an artist. So I've always been awkward and weird, kind of like, trying to find my way. And I started finding who I was and loving who I was when I started writing poetry. So like one of the first poems I wrote was like Chocolate Beauty, because I had felt so crazy about being such a dark-skinned woman. And I had, guys who were like, oh, I would talk to you, but you're dark. And, it's just like craziness. It tears down your self-esteem.
Yeah.
So I found love for myself by writing it out. Like, this is who I am. I'm a chocolate beauty, and you're just going to learn to love me because that's just how I am. That's how dope I am. So it encouraged myself to love myself. And so I started going through that. And then I've been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. And so as a patient of MS, it's a battle. It's a daily battle.
Yeah.
And found that poetry allows me to heal myself continuously.
Yeah.
And keep going in spite of that daily battle.
Wow, that's incredible. I'm really inspired by your work. I think the first time I ever heard you share poetry, I was sort of a closet page poet, only sharing my poems every now and then on Tumblr, and then like the poems that I did share, they were super weird and like whatever, we don't have to talk about that.
Hey, weird is okay.
Weird is okay, guys. Weird is okay.
Yeah.
Said from the poet herself. But anyway, when I first heard you share, I think it was like that song, When the Gold Inside Your Soul is Locked in Chains. I felt that so deep inside of me because I didn't even realize until later. Like sometimes you hear a piece and you have to hear it over and over and over again to like for it to actually sink in. But like the first time I heard it, I knew that was for me. And as that you keep sharing it and as you keep unfolding it, that piece almost like sets me free each time I hear it. It's almost like I catch different pieces of that poem every single time, and like different pieces are highlighted to me to encourage me to like actually write. So thank you for that.
Wow.
No, I'm so serious. Like
no, I'm so serious. Like I never even knew that. Like,
yeah, like when you shared it at Big Ears last weekend, there was another part of the poem that was highlighted to me. It was like, dang. Now I have to go write. And I have to go heal in this process of like not believing my voice is enough. So we've kind of talked about like what Fifth Woman has done in the past a little bit. Some people in the online world know and have heard of your stage presentation, so live produced performance of 5 women who share the stories of being women. We've seen that progression happen and grow over the past 3 years. Can you talk about that a little bit?
I think every year I learn something new, and I realize that the Fifth Woman reaches women in different places. And so for me, as we did it the first year, it was all about me realizing, hey, I can do this.
Yeah.
And that first year was, hey, Rhea, you're the Fifth Woman right now, and you're the woman that needs to be encouraged to keep going. Because after that first performance, I was like, I'm never doing this again. And then I had people be like, no, we have to do it again. And so then the second year, it was all about just the ladies in the show and helping them to truly find their voice, to really embrace it, step into this world of poetry. They were all kind of new to it.
Yeah.
When we got to year 3, it was all about the audience. And the audience made so many connections, and you could hear people crying and hugging and all of that in the audience. It became, more about that. And so now this year we're hitting, beyond just that audience. We're trying to reach, the world now. And so we want to take that spirit beyond just the stage and push into, the internet and traveling and doing tours and just touching more people. And I think that seeing that progression is why we needed the Kickstarter, because that growth is there now. Like we've established, so many years of women going through a fellowship, growing and becoming great poets, and then launching themselves, or becoming even better, bringing in some awesome poets. Last year we brought in great poets who had been doing this for years, and they were veterans, and they taught the newbies, during that process, and they got to learn. So it's been a constant give and take, in the community
So
of women, and then you start to see all these women come together, love each other, and find their commonalities.
That is so good. Okay, so another point that I wanted to hit on for the world to know. So Fifth Woman is, we called it the Fifth Woman Glow Up because it was actually a typo. Not really a typo. Meant to change the name, but there happened to be a glitch, and so now it's the Fifth Woman Glow Up. And we are experiencing...
Glow up for blow up.
Oh. Wow, I went there in my mind. We are experiencing a glow-up-tuation, if you will,
Okay.
of the Fifth Woman. So the Fifth Woman is not just a collective of poets anymore who are doing a stage performance once a year. The Fifth Woman is branching into a 501c3 nonprofit.
Yeah.
We want to get into spaces that we haven't been able to get into before as a
Yes.
collective. What, school spaces?
School spaces,
Prisons.
prisons, girl group homes is really at the top of my passion.
Yes.
Because I have a friend who's worked in group homes, and the stories that she tells me of, these girls and what they've gone through and how they struggle
Yeah.
to process what they've gone through.
Yeah.
And then, I've spoken to some counselor friends, and they're like, that poetry piece
Yes.
would so help them deal, process, and then
Yes.
grow beyond what's
That is
happened
so
to
good.
them in the past.
Yeah.
So that's really in my heart to really start moving into some group homes and working with some young ladies who are under the age of 18 but have lived life,
Yeah.
in ways that I could never even imagine. But to
Yeah.
help them find their story, find their voice, and then let it empower them.
So good. Yeah, so that's where we're going.
Yeah.
That's where we want to be. We want to be. This is not just about slamming a poem.
Nah, it's far beyond slam. It's actually not, we slam.
We slam.
We slam.
A little slam every now and
Because
then.
we're good at it. So, we
Ring
will,
is good at it.
we will slam sometimes, but it's so much more than that.
Yeah.
What I found in Knoxville for so many years of being on the scene is just that there just wasn't a lot of women sharing their voices, sharing their stories. And I wanted to see more of that.
Yeah.
So I
Because it's
just
powerful.
started tugging on them. They're out there.
It's powerful. It's healing. It's transformative for our communities. It's transformative for our own hearts. How can the Fifth Woman, how can the world get in touch with the Fifth Woman? How can we connect?
Hey, you know what? We have an amazing art director named Diane Morris. Has made sure that she's made sure that you can connect with the Fifth Woman in just about every means of social media possible. So there's Facebook, there is Twitter, there's Instagram, there's the webpage with all things Fifth Woman. So if you visit the webpage, you will find everything, and it's really easy. thefifthwoman.com. Fifth is spelled out F-I-F-T-H. So thefifthwoman.com. Go there. You'll see our blog. You'll see how to get tickets to shows. You'll see upcoming events. You'll get to see the workshops that we're working on. And most of all, you'll get to see the link to how to donate.
Our Kickstarter. So, for those of you watching on the Kickstarter page, look to your right. This might be the right. I don't know. It's 1 o'clock in the morning, probably.
And your right is our left.
You'll see a list. You'll see a list of incentives. We have T-shirts that have been designed by yours truly. They were fun to design. We have a really cool poster that was illustrated by a dear friend of mine. We have tickets to the show at a special Kickstarter rate that you can purchase right here on the sidebar, whichever side that is. We haven't decided yet.
Is it on the right too?
It's on the right.
It's on
The right. Yes, I'm going to start that over. If you are watching us on the Kickstarter page, hold on.
Take 42.
Take 51. If you are watching this video on the Kickstarter page, if you look to your right,
That
you will see a list of incentives that will lead you to all things Fifth Woman. We have Rich chapbooks. I have a chapbook coming out. We have some other gifts and incentives from our other artists that will be available. And we're pretty excited about just like being able to offer our platform to you and offer our voices and offer our stories. So please take advantage. Let us know if you have any questions about anything at all. We want to make all things clear and transparent to you because we just want to make sure that we are on the same page as far as the vision for Fifth Woman is concerned. We want to be here for growth, for healing, for transformation. We are not up here just slamming poems. We want to be here for hope. So
And change.
And change. So here we are. Here you are. Let's work together. Let's love this world back into healing together.
And let's love on your woman.
Let's love on the woman. Yes.
Everybody has a little bit of woman.
Everybody has it. It was Naira Wahid. No. It was Yursa Daily Ward. No, it was one of them. Who said, I feel relieved when I see a little bit of woman in a man.
Yeah.
That means that there's a piece that I do not have to bring to him.
Nice.
And that's where we want to be.
Yeah. Everybody.
So
Finding their little piece of woman and loving it.
yes.
Yeah.
So, here we are. Bye.
See ya.
Awkward artist wave.